Thanks for joining us, everybody, today for this demo of incident and request management with Jira Service Management. We're looking forward to showing you off a few use cases and scenarios that we've built out in our service management instance. All right, and without further delays, we're going to jump into our demo here. So as I mentioned, we're going to talk about primarily incident management and service request management. But the first piece we want to touch on is looking at the help center and how to deflect tickets with knowledge base. Transition here. So for those aren't familiar with Jira Service Management, this is the help center. As you can see, it's a very clean, very user-friendly interface, very Google-like experience for your customers. Oftentimes where customers ultimately end up is searching within the search field. So very helpful search navigation. It's going to provide recommendations on both knowledge base articles and support requests. As you can see here, we've got a few that have been presented to us. And depending on what it is that the person is searching for, different articles and different request types are going to be presented to them. You can see that as we click into these knowledge articles, we are presented with the article itself. The knowledge articles are content that's developed within Atlassian Confluence, which is Atlassian's collaboration tool. So it provides a very user-friendly experience plus very attractive documentation. This is an excellent way to help your customers self-resolve tickets when there are issues that they can resolve on their own. So you can see they're presented with the document here. Let's go to the bottom. If it's not helping resolve it, we're going to recommend other related articles that may potentially resolve the issue. The customer also has the ability to highlight whether the article resolved it or not. And from there, in addition, have the ability to raise a request if they still need to do so, which is then going to bring them back to the service desk where they can see the various request types. Before we want to move on to that, I want to show you one other area that we've configured here. So at the front end of your service desk, we're able to define what is called knowledge article categories. So these are articles that are often frequently accessed by customers. Again, in an attempt to help customers self-resolve issues, we can present them with these different categories. So from there, as they go into it, they're then presented with the knowledge articles specifically for that category. As we can see, we've selected device support, and here are the relevant device support articles that we've defined. Go back again, same idea. If we select software and app help, we're presented with the knowledge articles that the team has associated with that categorization. So these are great solutions for helping teams resolve issues on their own. Very user-friendly for creating the knowledge content, helping your teams ultimately resolve issues quicker. All right, but like I said, if this doesn't help resolve the issue, the customer still has the ability to then go and submit a request. What we'll do now is we're going to go ahead and submit a very basic IT incident of get help. So this is your general type of request. And again, these request categorizations are all fully customizable with Jira Service Management. So we look at get at IT help, choose who this request is being raised on behalf of. And now we're going to see this demonstrate how we can set up dynamic forms to help navigate a customer through the issue. So we've got a couple of different options in this selection menu here. Other doesn't have too many additional items here. So this is your generic request where the customer is going to be able to explain as much detail just within the summary field. However, if we take a look at the other ones, we're going to see that we're presented with some different options. So if we select the My Device section, first question is going to be what type of device? And then from there, we have a selection available to us: laptop, mobile phone, tablet, desktop, other. These also are going to cascade different options for your customer to help navigate them down this path. So we can add some humor and some personality to our forms by entering fields like this. Have you tried turning off your phone? And then we've populated an asset tag. So this is where the customer would then be able to include the asset tag of their device and go ahead and submit the ticket. We can see that depending on their selection, they're going to be prompted with a couple of different options as well. So mobile phone, I don't know, sorry to hear that. Is this a company managed device? Yes or no? I don't know. So if we go ahead and say yes, what's the mobile phone? If we go and say no, it's going to give us a more summarized issue. And again, various options that are being submitted here. Tablet, very similar. Desktop, same as your laptop, and other is a generic. So this is a really good example of demonstrating how what can start out as a very basic and simple get IT help, we can help navigate and narrow down the specific type of request, which depending on the size of your customer base and depending on the size of your support teams is going to help navigate it and assign these issues to the appropriate people to ensure that they're being resolved much quicker. So if we go ahead and put in this, I don't have an actual asset tag number, but we'll just put that in. Go ahead and submit that ticket. And this brings us to the working interface where your customer is now going to be able to interact with their agent. Okay, as we can see on the right-hand side here, it's going to explain what the overall status is for the support ticket. We can toggle notifications on and off, and you even have the ability to update the ticket on your own, where if you need to escalate the ticket or resolve it or cancel it. In addition to that, you have the option of sharing the tickets with others as you need. For this example, we're not going to go into the back end of the system. We've got a more advanced incident that we're going to show off to show that. But this is the basic customer-facing area of the application where they're going to be able to submit their general IT type incidents and support requests. So for now, we're going to hop over into our IT operations project where we've got a more refined, more built out incident that we want to walk through. So we're going to go ahead and report a system access problem. So this is an example where we have specific applications that we've logged and created, and we can define what the criticality and what the issue is. So as similar on the other one, we're presented with a form. These forms are all customizable. In this case, we have it linked up with our service catalog, so we can see the various systems that we have access to, so we can identify which system the problem is with. I'm going to go ahead and create this for our billing system. Oops, sorry, I think I actually selected the wrong request type. System problem. There we go. Back to this. This is where we're going to be able to identify the actual affected services. So we're going to report this for our billing system, give this a summary, system problem. Oops. As you can see, I accidentally selected a knowledge base article. So key thing here is that as we're entering our names, the system's going to continue to recommend knowledge articles to help deflect tickets. User has the ability to take a look at these, see if they help resolve them. Again, if they go through the details, if it doesn't help, they can raise a request and it's going to take them back to the same form. We won't do that though, because we've got a ticket open already. So I can't access the billing system. We've identified it and associated with the billing system. We can go in and select what the impact is. So we're going to say this extensive and widespread, and also identify what the urgency is. So go ahead and submit this ticket. And very similar to the other requests, we have the customer view where we can continue to communicate and see the overall status of the issue with the agents on the other side. So this is a critical problem. Okay, so if we go and now take a look from the agent's view, so this is internal to Jira, this is the agent's view. This is going to give them visibility on the issue inside as they start to triage and figure out what the problem is. So the first thing we're going to highlight here is that this is going to show a link to the actual affected service. Some really useful and handy features available within this view. So you can expand it and you can see any open incidents relating to that service. That way, if you're getting multiple tickets coming in, you can identify if there is a larger systemic problem that needs to be addressed or potentially communicated out to your customer base. In addition to that, if we click on this view here, we're going to get more details of this service itself. So we can see all of the related services and service relationships with the payment processing systems or the e-commerce platforms. Again, that's both presented in a graphical manner and in a detailed visual form here in text. And similar to the related links issues, we can also look at the linked issues here. So these ones aren't existing currently though. Okay. Collapse this. As we move down, we're going to be able to take a look at see the changes that affect the service. So this is the first area of diagnostics your team would likely want to take a look into to identify if there are any recent changes on the service that might have contributed to this. So we can see that there are 2 completed changes. However, there's 1 failed change here. So this might be a good indication as to what the problem is. From there, your team may then decide to create a linked issue in order to escalate this to the platform development team. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Create a linked issue. We can choose which team we want this for. We know it's the platform development team. We're going to report this as a bug. We're going to create that issue so that they can begin investigating it. And as we can see here, that issue is now linked back to the parent incident in order to provide full visibility from all the development teams and the support teams alike. If we click into that ticket, we can also see that it provides the 2-way link back to here. And as soon as this one is updated into in progress, that's going to be visible back on the main support ticket so that your service agents are going to be able to communicate back to the customer or customers to let them know that the incident is being actively worked on. And like all other Jira products, there's extensive capabilities for collaboration through the comments and through the tools. In addition, we've got some automation that's running here that's going to help your operations teams. In this case, what we've done is we've highlighted a relevant run book that might be able to help solve them. So this was a notification that was done through automation. However, that's not the only area where your teams will be able to see related knowledge articles. On the right-hand side, the system's also going to recommend additional knowledge articles that should help resolve these issues quickly. And again, a little more detail presented on the right-hand side. We have the platform catalog for impacted services. So this way you can notify your customer base of any other services or any other applications that are going to be impacted by this incident and outage. Okay, so that's an example of how incident management can be handled. Thank you. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump back to our help center and we're going to demonstrate a service request. So similar to the previous one, we're at our help center now, where we've got the different knowledge articles that we have access to. But in this case here, we know exactly what we want to do. We want to request a brand new notebook. So similar to the other ones, we have customizable forms that get fully configured. We're actually going to go ahead and raise this on behalf of another employee, just because that's how the demo data is set up. Here. Again, we're going to be prompted with any knowledge articles that are going to either help figure out how to process the request or help deflect the tickets. So as you can see here, this one is actually giving a breakdown of the available laptops that the customer will have to choose from to help them know exactly which ones will meet their needs. In addition, we've provided some links to request one today, which will take them back to the exact same request that we have here. So we're going to go ahead and keep presenting this. The next field we have supported models. This is actually pulling from our asset catalog. So we've defined the available models that we are supporting. This is from our inventory management system. In addition to that, we have the option to select accessories. So this individual has the choice to go and pull on a couple of different devices, trackpad. And they can also ask to have a variety of shortcuts installed. US, G Suite, Jira Line, and DocuSign. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and submit this issue. With Jira Service Management, there's a very powerful automation engine, so you can define rules and how to handle things at different points in time. As we can see here, this app is actually waiting on approval. We've got an automation that is automatically assigning it to its manager, who is actually me in this case. So we can see as we refresh it, one of the automations has updated and it's now been assigned to the manager. So the manager, being myself, is now able to go in and either approve or decline this request. This function is available either within the portal or directly within email. In addition, we've created some additional automatic responses to let the end user know that things have been submitted. One of them being an attention notification. So we've looked up in the system and we've seen that there is actually already a laptop on order for this individual. So we've been able to highlight that this is a duplicate request and that we should be looking into the previous one in order to resolve the issue. But even though we have this, we're going to go ahead and approve this to see how this moves through the remainder of the workflow. Okay. So now going in and taking a look at the issue itself. We can see again, similar to the incident where we're referencing the services, we're able to reference all of the detail within our asset catalog. So we can take a look at the details associated with the laptop this individual has chosen. Tells us the name, screen size, CPU, RAM, storage, and cost. These are all configurable values that can be defined. In addition, we have the full object graph again, so you can see all of the related insight objects associated with it and any of the linked issues. Below that, we've got the supported laptop accessories, our magic keypad, and our magic trackpad. Again, with additional details available to show within this panel, and the full object graph and the full object details available within this view. The goal here is to reduce the amount of context and screen switching for your agents so that they're able to quickly identify the information they need in order to help make the decision on moving these forwards. Below that, we have our cloud subscriptions, also referencing from our object graph. But one of the things you'll see here is that we've had some additional automation kick off and create a subtask. So in this case here, there's additional person responsible for setting up and licensing AWS, which is one of the cloud subscriptions that was requested. So we've had a subtask created and that has been assigned to the appropriate individual. Below that, again, the similar notifications and comments that have been sent out to the customer externally. So at this point, we are now waiting for support and we're going to move this into in progress. On the right-hand side, there's some additional detail. We have the employee assets. We can see exactly what is assigned to and already impending for this individual. We've got another laptop, a monitor. In this case here, we can see that this person already actually has a pending order, which is why we generated this notification down at the bottom. The system was able to look up and see if there are either existing laptops or existing pending orders in order to mitigate this from happening. In addition, one of the automations has been to create a requested asset. So this creates a placeholder in the inventory management system where it creates this item. And then it also kicks off a procurement issue, which is linked in another project in order to complete the acquisition of this product. So we can see as a result of that request being approved, it created the asset, and then it ultimately created the procurement task in order to acquire the asset. This procurement task has its own workflow, an own life cycle that it's going to go through: requested, reviewed, accepted, purchased. See this in the requested state. And this is actually sitting in a Jira work management project, which has different features and functionality than the Jira Service Management project. Take a look. One of the great features is the board view, so we can see exactly what status all of the different procured items are sitting in. So we scroll down to the very bottom here. We're going to see this latest one that's been requested from Mitch Davis that's currently in the requested state. Move it into review, accepted, and ultimately purchased. All the while, that information is going to be linking back to the original ticket so that your agents can continue to work on provisioning that laptop once it comes in. We can see here some additional subtasks based on the other ones were kicked off. And then once everything is complete, they will ultimately assign that workstation. Instead of it being a requested asset, they'll go in and they'll be able to assign it and put it into full inventory. And that is the demo for today, folks. Again, thank you everyone for joining us today. If anyone has any questions or is looking to learn more about how Jira Service Management can support their QA, their incident request and problem management processes, please feel free to reach out to us at any time. Have a great day.